Hi everyone, welcome to Greeklish Outdoors. Today we're going to be making a Viking style coin purse. So, stick around. So we're going to make this coin purse, a style of which you might have seen many times. It's a similar style to what people make their tinder pouches from. We're going to be making it out of leather, and for this sort of small pouch you need a supple leather, not the kind of bit more rigid, tougher leathers. It's a little bit more difficult to work with and it won't bunch up as well when we put the string through it. So let's see what we'll need to make it. So we'll need a piece of leather. You can choose the size of your piece in relation to the size of the pouch you want to make. We've got a small bowl which we're going to use as a stencil, a pair of sharp scissors, some hemp twine, a small pair of sewing scissors, a marker pen or pencil, you could also use chalk, and a hole punch. So first of all, we're going to put our leather on the table. We're going to place our bowl on there. Just check to make sure there is space around. In this case there is. And now we're going to use the marker pen to trace around the bowl, and that will be the template for our little pouch. So there we have our circle. Now we just need to use our sharp scissors and cut the piece out. So take your time, there's no need to rush this. It's quite relaxing, I find, making these sort of things, and so take all the time you need. Right. So this, when you have these leftover pieces, I recommend saving them because you never know what you might want to use them for. This could be made into a little handle of something, or you can even make some leather thread with it. So don't ever throw these little bits away. So we have our disc, you can see there. Now what we need to do is we need to puncture little holes at set intervals around the circle, which we will then thread eventually the twine through. So if you wish, you can mark it out first. So there we have it. There you can see our little dots around the side. The black part here won't be seen really because it will be on the inside of our pouch. So then take your leather hole puncher, and now we want to look at the size of the gauge we want to use. So let's check this hemp twine. So with these hole punches, it's quite a good idea to just thread it through the hole, just to double check. If you can see that there, the measurements on there. So 2.5 and 2 are both fine. They'll both go in there, but I think 2.5 gives us a little bit more wiggle room with the thread. So let's click the 2.5 into position, and as you see, that will then clip the leather. So let's line our hole up with our black dot, and all you do, just squeeze on that, and it'll puncture a little hole. Sometimes you've got to get a little bit of a helping hand afterwards, We'll get to that at the end. Again, take your time. Try and be as neat as possible, which is always a bit difficult for me because I'm not a very neat person. So you can see on the other side it is clipped, but it's not gone, it's not broken totally away. This is where we need our little seamstress scissors just to give it a hand. See, now we have our disc with all the holes through the edges, which we're going to feed our thread through. So when we take our thread, I'm using this thin hemp thread to be in keeping with the time period. Always best to try and measure out a little bit more than you probably think you'll use, because you can always trim it afterwards. So then we take our thread in one hole, out the next. I'm going to continue to do this all the way around. Now the thread is all the way through. We have two ends coming outwards, which is what you want. Which is why it's probably best for you to count the number of holes you puncture into the leather to make sure the correct amount where both threads at the end go outwards. So I'm going to just snip it about here, which gives us plenty of room, because remember this is going to be all pulled tight a little bit later. Again, the excess thread we will use on another occasion, so don't get rid of it. So now we have our little outline of a purse. You can see where we're going now. If we pull that tight, you can see the shape of our little purse. A very simple little purse this is. What we do need is we need a little toggle. You could use a bead, a piece of wood. Now what I'm going to use today is just a piece of wooden dowling from an old piece of flat pack furniture. I'm very much into the reuse of items, so this costs nothing. As I said, you could probably use the equivalent size stick, but now we need to put a little hole in there. If you have a bead, the hole will already be made for you. In this case, because I'm using this piece of dowling, I'm going to need to drill a hole in there. So I'm going to use one of these little hand drills, like a Dremel style. Should be plenty enough to get through this little dowel. A little bit wider, we should be able to get both our pieces of thread through there. Right, let's get back and do that. Now our dowel is ready to try and thread both of these through that little hole if possible. There we go. So we'll leave that for a second. Let's open up this purse to see actually how much thread we'll need to fully open it. Then we can trim it accordingly. So I'd say that's the maximum we'll would need. So let's tie a little knot on the end here so the thread won't come back through again. Tie a little knot tight like that. We can trim the end, make it a bit neater. So now that will not come out of there, but it's still got plenty of space in there to get access to your coins. And then simply pull on this thread, and there you have it, a simple leather coin purse. So these can be made in obviously different sizes, colours. I've made one in a slightly shinier, slightly less supple piece of leather, and this one I'm actually using as a little tinder pouch. There we have it, a very simple medieval style, Viking style little coin purse. So I hope you found that interesting and useful. I hope you will make your own versions. Please feel free to send your pictures in to me to show me. I'd like to see your versions of them as well. As I said, it's a very simple version of this. You could put things like brass eyelets in there. You could make it a fancier bead. You could use a piece of wood like me and stain it to make it more intricate. You could put little patterns, burn little patterns into the leather. I've just opted for a very, very simple style coin purse. So, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. Take care, much love, I'll see you next time.